Mayweather. I wanted to punch Floyd in his face so bad. If he gave me an opportunity tomorrow, I'd do it. Okay? How can I say no?
4 years, Floyd Mayweather built a flawless 50-0 legacy, a monument to defensive brilliance and unmatched ring IQ. Yet, hidden in the shadows of that legacy lies the story of Keith, one-time Thurman. Every fighter reaches a breaking point, a moment when frustration ignites into fury. For Thurman, this was more than just a fight. It was an explosive accusation, a declaration of truth. He was ready to reveal that Mayweather had been deliberately avoiding the one man he knew posed a genuine threat. Even now, years after his final professional bell, the Mayweather effect remains undeniable. Legendary figures, from Manny Pacquiao to Roy Jones Jr., still toy with the idea of stepping into the ring with him once more.
You want to fight? Come on. I ain't tripping. You ain't got to troll me. Come see me. That's who I am. I don't do talk well.
You think there's a possibility, Roy? Like, we might get this exhibition?
Ain't gonna be no exhibition. I want a real. Ain't no sense being an exhibition. What we gonna play for? We both fight for real. What we playing for? Wasn't no exhibition. We didn't make it real. Exhibition for people playing. We ain't playing.
It happened that way. It happened to me many times.
Did you want a rematch with Floyd?
I'm still active. It's up to him if he's going to fight.
You would even fight him today?
Even here.
Oh my goodness.
Even here.
A fight with Floyd isn't merely a fight. It's a cultural event, a golden ticket, famously dubbed the Mayweather Payday. An entire generation of fighters has lined up, each dreaming of being selected for that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Yet, in the end, being chosen was the real key.
And Mayweather's used to that, you know? It looked like Mayweather was trying to scuffed up.
And that's where the story of Keith, one-time Thurman, truly begins. While many were chasing a payday, Thurman was demanding a legacy fight. Today, he's remembered as perhaps the ultimate what-if in Mayweather's storied career. He stands as a prime example of a fighter allegedly denied his rightful shot, a casualty of Floyd's infamous pick-and-choose strategy. At the height of his powers, Thurman was an undefeated, power-punching champion, the most dangerous puzzle in the division. And, according to him, that's exactly why the puzzle was never solved.
Mayweather. I wanted to punch Floyd in his face so bad. If he gave me an opportunity tomorrow, I'd do it. Okay? How can I say no? I always wanted to punch that man in the face. You know? That's actually why I never shook his hand. Never shook his hand, because my satisfaction isn't in meeting you. It's in, having the fight. And after the fight, we can shake hands. After the fight, I can give Floyd all the respect. I never got the fight, never gave him any real respect. You know what I mean? I actually do respect Floyd, but face to face, I can never give him respect because he never put respect on me.
Did he ever ask you, hey Keith, why you talk to me? Did Floyd ever approach you and ask?
Nah, we just was in the lobby one time at the Intercontinental here, and he actually walked up to me, and he was cordial. He was cool and everything, but then we were just getting to talking, and it just, it is what it is. He had like some.
In the early 2000s, the welterweight division was Floyd Mayweather's kingdom. He reigned as the undisputed pay-per-view king, the final boss every ambitious fighter dreamed of facing. Yet, while Mayweather was raking in 9-figure paychecks against well-established names, a storm was quietly brewing in Florida. That storm had a name: Keith Thurman.
I've titled myself a knockout artist ever since I was 14 years old, and I was knocking out grown men with 16-ounce gloves and headgears, So I tell people, ever since then, I've been dropping people like a bad habit, I love being a power puncher. My first favorite fighter of all time was Mike Tyson. It was my goal to have more knockouts than Mike Tyson in my professional career, It's just, just little goals, as a kid growing up. So I started off holding it down with 8 consecutive first-round KOs and TKOs here at the Alucard Pavilion out in Tampa, Florida.
Nicknamed One Time for his devastating one-punch knockout power, Thurman was a frightening blend of raw strength, blistering speed, and refined boxing skill. He wasn't merely winning, he was demolishing his opponents, tearing through the ranks with a hunger that couldn't be ignored.
There may be some things y'all don't agree with that I say. I assure you, up until, and y'all know Keith got gas issues, but until that gas tank start to run on E, he's a good fight against anybody.
Come on,
You
man.
don't want to hear it.
No. If you think about it, Keith was the guy, man.
Yeah.
Keith just ain't fighting. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think just the rust and everything's catching up with Keith.
Yeah.
Hey, supposedly we might get Keith this year.
Before the end of the year.
You heard that's confirmed?
I mean, I talk to my boy every now and then.
Okay, shout out to Keith Thurman.
By 2014, with an unblemished record, Thurman was no longer just a contender. He was a problem. He viewed Mayweather not as an idol to be worshipped, but as a target to be conquered. And unlike so many others waiting for their golden ticket, Thurman made it clear that he would be the one to shatter that undefeated record. What followed sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Keith Thurman didn't merely want the fight, he demanded it. In a series of fiery interviews throughout 2014 and 2015, he threw down the gauntlet with a confidence so fierce, it bordered on outright disrespect.
That's right, baby. You know, Floyd is supposed to be TBE, and I want to fight the best. I want to fight the man. You know, it ain't like Floyd's gonna knock me out. When has Floyd knocked anybody out in the past several years? Huh? So if anybody should be scared, it should be him. If anything I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a great learning experience in my career. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to destroying Mr. Floyd Money Mayweather. I have a motto. This is my personal motto. It's called burn money. Burn money. 2015, we getting ready to burn money.
While others spoke of Mayweather in hushed, reverent tones, Thurman addressed him head-on, staring straight into the cameras. "Do you want to fight?" he challenged. "Be honest with me. If you're going to leave me alone, just let me know you're going to leave me alone."
You know, I'm a young, strong champion, Floyd. Come get it. I'm undefeated like you, baby. Come take my O, baby. Come take my O. I'm ready. I'm ready. We'll go back to camp right now. We'll go right back to camp, baby. You see my six-pack? I'm going to go run laps tomorrow. It is what it is, man. Outside of Floyd, there's a lot of great champions in the welterweight division, and they know who to call. His name is Al Heyman. Call Al Heyman, baby. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to other opportunities. I beat this fighter, I can beat any fighter.
He wasn't asking for a payday. He was demanding a fight for supremacy. The tension hit a fever pitch when Thurman boldly declared, "If anybody should be scared, it's him." The boxing world was captivated. Here stood an undefeated power-punching champion in his prime, publicly accusing the pound-for-pound king of running scared. Thurman even took aim at Mayweather's choice of opponents, such as Andre Berto, framing them as safe, calculated picks designed to dodge a genuine threat. But those public call-outs were only the visible part of the story. This is where the narrative takes an unexpected turn, deep into the murky world of boxing politics. As Thurman pressed forward with his relentless pursuit, he revealed a stunning sequence of events that laid bare his claim of being ducked for all to see.
Get the fight, and then they politically took the position away from me by elevating him up to the super champion, which made it so that he was no longer obligated to any mandatories. And now I'm currently the WBA super champion of the world. So, you know, to me, the real purpose of holding the super champion, once when I studied the industry and understood politically what this belt and what that belt means, to me, the real purpose of having the super champ is to do things like this and have a unification bout. Because when a fighter has two belts, he's supposed to have two mandatories. Now that means that you don't really get to pick the fight that you want anymore, because now you're getting this mandatory thrown upon you from this federation, and you got this mandatory thrown on you from another federation, and then it's less for you to do what you want to do for your career.
He explained that after earning his position as the mandatory challenger, he was set to fight for the WBA welterweight title. But then, something unusual occurred. Rather than giving Thurman his long-awaited shot at the reigning champion, Floyd Mayweather, the WBA abruptly elevated Mayweather to super champion status, while Thurman was quietly promoted to regular champion.
And that's when Floyd Mayweather ends up fighting Marcos Maidana. To a very close fight. Maidana fought a tough fight. He fought a tough fight. I don't even know how it got to be like that, because I saw him get outboxed easily by Devin Alexander at his first fight at 147. But somehow, some way, maybe Floyd just underestimated the wild bull of a man that Maidana was at the time. And so, the fight was so entertaining. Floyd did a rematch. That time, he clearly outboxed Maidana. He didn't lay on the ropes. He didn't let so many big overhand rights come in. And it was a clear showing that Floyd got the second fight. That was only 2 of his rematches throughout his whole career, 50-0. 2 rematches.
To the casual fan, it might have sounded like just another belt, but as Thurman revealed, it was nothing short of a political masterstroke.
Were you mandated to fight Floyd?
Man, they created the WBA super title. They gave it to Floyd so that he wouldn't have to fight me. Now Mendoza is saying whoever is the super champ has to fight the regular champ. That wasn't the case when Keith Thurman was the champ.
So they just did. So they simply didn't even mandate that fight.
Know your history, man. Floyd Mayweather politically ducked me. 100. It was the most BS political move in the world. I get a phone call, hey Keith, instead of being the interim champ, you're elevated to the regular champ. So yes, I was his mandatory. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Did it ever get mandated? No. Why did it not get mandated? Because he had 2 fights with Maidana. Then they elevated him to super champ. They gave me the regular champion, and they didn't let the regular champ touch the super champ in that generation.
Buried deep within the WBA's official rules lay a shocking loophole. A super champion was not required to face mandatory challengers. In an instant, Mayweather was protected, shielded behind the politics of the sport.
So by the WBA creating that super title, that allowed Floyd to really only focus on one mandatory, which was the WBC, if he wants to take it or not, and it gave him way more room to move his career the way that he wanted to move it. And because he was able to do that, one thing that he was not presented with, one thing that nobody had to get in his face and ask him about was, how do you feel about Keith one-time Thurman, who is your #1 mandatory challenger in the WBA? You know, as soon as he fought Maidana and got that title, I'm the mandatory. He schedules a rematch, so there's no point in talking about it. He wins again. Now, the question is, how do you feel about your mandatory?
He suddenly had a legitimate, rule-based excuse to never step into the ring with the most dangerous opponent in his division. Thurman found out he was a world champion not through a glorious victory, but through a phone call from a reporter, a bizarre moment that confirmed his worst fears. He wasn't being awarded a title. He was being handed a consolation prize, something to keep him quiet and, more importantly, to keep him away from the king.
I learned that I'm champion of the world thanks to a phone call. I said, well, so what happened to the real champion of the world? No, Floyd's not champion of the world. He is the super champion. I said, does it come with a cape? What the hell is a super champ? But Thurman, you're the regular champion of the world. What's regular about being...
But who could have orchestrated such a flawless political escape? The answer lies with one of the most mysterious and influential figures in all of boxing. So, that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming uploads. And of course, share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next one.